Amputee receives financial assistance from A Mohamed. Since losing his right hand 4 months ago, 26-year-old Devanan Rodriguez of Crane Village, West Coast Demerara, has faced numerous challenges. The young man was stabbed in the neck while trying to make peace, thus resulting in a major vein in his right arm being severed, ultimately leading to it being amputated. Although he is required to visit the hospital daily for treatment, financial difficulties have made it impossible to do so. In a bid to seek assistance, Rodriguez reached out to Mr. A Mohamed via a social media post. Staying committed to helping those in need, Mr. Mohamed took time out of his busy schedule to visit the young man and his wife earlier today, during which he offered financial assistance. This contribution will help cover the costs of his hospital visits and support other essential needs. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Rodriguez expressed his heartfelt thanks to Mr. Mohamed for the much-needed assistance. Tragedy strikes West Bank Demerara. Pensioner and bedridden daughter lose lives in house fire. A tragic fire early Friday morning claimed the lives of 75-year-old Phyllis Smith and her bedridden daughter, 44-year-old Ventina Smith, in a devastating incident that has left the community in shock. The fire broke out around 5 a.m. at a one-story wooden home located on Plantation No. 2 Westminster. Phyllis Smith's other children and her granddaughter, who also resided in the house, managed to escape unharmed. Chondine Sukraj, Phyllis's daughter, reported to investigators that she had gone to bed the previous evening around 9:30 p.m., leaving the home secure. She was awakened the next morning by intense heat coming from her mother's bedroom. Upon checking, she discovered that a section of the room was already engulfed in flames. In a desperate bid for safety, Sukraj seized her daughter and fled into the yard. She alerted neighbors, who promptly contacted the Guyana Fire Service. Firefighters arrived quickly and worked to extinguish the blaze, but the structure was ultimately destroyed. The aftermath revealed the heartbreaking loss of Phyllis and Ventina Smith, whose bodies were found among the debris, burnt beyond recognition. They were transported to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Their remains are currently at Ezekiel Funeral Home, awaiting post-mortem examinations. This tragic event serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of fire and the importance of safety measures in our homes. The community mourns the loss of Phyllis and Ventina, and our thoughts are with their surviving family members during this difficult time. Tragedy at diamond work site, 40-year-old woman electrocuted. In Guyana, a tragic incident occurred on Thursday morning when 40-year-old Shirley Winter was electrocuted while operating machinery at her workplace, Flexotech Inc. Residing at Ramscane Field Drive, Friendship, EBD, Winter was a dedicated employee and a mother of one. The incident took place at approximately 11:27 a.m. when her co-workers heard her screams. Upon rushing to her aid, they found her unresponsive and motionless. Emergency services were quickly summoned, and Winter was transported to Diamond Public Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. A post-mortem examination confirmed the cause of death as electrocution. The Ministry of Labor has already conducted a site visit, and an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident is currently underway. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers present in industrial workplaces. Our thoughts are with Shirley Winter's family during this difficult time. Businessman arrested for alleged discharging of loaded firearm with intent. Police authorities are investigating an incident involving the alleged discharging of a loaded firearm with intent, which occurred on December 2, 2024, at approximately 4:30 p.m. at the corner of Dury Lane and Lamaha Street. The incident involved Muashankar Prasad, a 54-year-old businessman and owner of Cyril Transportation Service, and Cordula Sana, a 41-year-old driver employed with ExxonMobil. Preliminary investigations indicate that Prasad and Asana are acquainted. Prasad holds a valid firearm license for a 9mm Glock pistol. According to reports, earlier this year, Prasad's 2 Toyota Prado SUVs were stolen. On the day of the incident, he received a call informing him that one of the stolen vehicles had been spotted on Kitty Railway embankment. Upon arriving at the location, Prasad observed a Prado SUV matching the description of one of his stolen vehicles traveling south on Lamaha Street. He exited his vehicle and, in an attempt to stop the SUV, discharged one round from his licensed firearm, hitting the right back wheel and causing the vehicle to halt. As he approached the driver, Prasad recognized him and realized that the vehicle was not one of his stolen SUVs. Police from Albertown Police Station processed the scene, recovering one 9mm spent shell. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The firearm has been lodged, and Prasad is currently cooperating with the police investigation. This incident highlights the critical importance of responsible firearm use and the potential consequences of misidentification. The investigation is ongoing, and further updates will be provided as they become available. GPL blames drainage and roadworks for collapse of several concrete poles in North Ruimveldt. News source Guyana: more than 2,000 households in the South and North Ruimveldt communities remain without electricity following the collapse of several recently planted concrete poles by the Guyana Power and Light Company, GPL. The incidents occurred last evening and continued into this morning, resulting in significant disruption of service. The power outage was triggered when one pole fell onto the roadway, causing a domino effect that brought down additional poles. Kesh Nandlal, head of executive management at GPL, reported that inspections revealed that ongoing road expansion and drainage works had compromised the foundation of GPL's network infrastructure, leading to the collapse. We dispatched emergency teams to the area immediately last evening, and they are currently working to address the situation, Nandlal stated. The company is actively working to replant the fallen poles, rest ring conductors, and replace any affected network components to restore power to the impacted areas. GPL extends its sincerest apologies to the residents affected by this incident and is conducting a full investigation to determine the precise cause of the pole collapses. Officials from both the Ministry of Public Works and the Ministry of Housing have also visited the site to conduct their investigations. The power company remains committed to resolving this issue as quickly as possible and appreciates the understanding and patience of the community during this challenging time. Increased garbage collection for the holiday season. In anticipation of the increased waste generated during the holiday season, the Mayor and City Council, MNCC, of Georgetown has announced enhanced garbage collection services for the next 8 weeks. For constituencies will now receive 2 garbage collections per week to manage the surge in refuse. The constituencies benefiting from this initiative include Constituency 8, Wortmanville, Work and Rust, and Stabroek, Constituency 10, Albuistown and Charlestown, Constituency 11, East and West La Penitence, and Constituency 13, East and West Ruimveldt. These constituencies typically generate significantly more garbage, particularly during the Christmas season, stated Walton Areen, head of Solid Waste Management, during a press conference alongside Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor and Councillor Clayton Hines. The initiative, which began on November 27 and will run until January 25, involves an additional cost of $8 million on top of the MNCC's regular monthly expenditure of $21 million for garbage collection. In addition to increased household collections, these communities will also have bulky and parapet waste removed. If bulky waste is not collected on the scheduled day, it will be picked up on the following Friday, Nareen explained. The MNCC has also addressed the issue of illegal dumping in the city, attributing part of the problem to residents who pay homeless individuals to dispose of their garbage. Those found guilty of this practice are being prosecuted, but both Mayor Mentor and Nareen emphasized the need for greater public education regarding littering laws to foster a culture of responsible waste disposal. The MNCC encourages all residents to take advantage of the enhanced garbage collection services and to cooperate in keeping Georgetown clean during this festive season. Public servants without union-brokered agreements to receive 10% increase, Jagdeo. Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo announced today that Guyanese public servants whose unions have not yet reached agreements with the government will receive a 10% salary increase. This increase is part of the government's commitment to recognizing the essential role of public servants in the nation. During his weekly press conference, Dr. Jagdeo focused on the recently announced retroactive salary increase for public servants. This decision follows discussions between the government and the Guyana Public Service Union, GPSU, with President Dr. Irfan Ali confirming the 10% increase for 2024 and an additional 8% for 2025. In a related development, the Ministry of Education successfully negotiated a comprehensive benefits package with the Guyana Teachers Union, GTU. Under this agreement, teachers will receive a 10% salary increase in 2024, an 8% increase in 2025, and a 9% increase in 2026. Similarly, the Guyana Sugar Corporation, GuySuCo, has finalized a 3-year wages and salaries agreement with the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, GAO, which includes a 10% retroactive pay increase for sugar workers in 2024, followed by 8% in 2025 and 9% in 2026. Dr. Jagdeo emphasized that all public sector workers will benefit from the double-digit salary increase, regardless of their union agreements. He stated, "We are hoping that we will continue to work with the other unions to conclude agreements of a similar nature. If we do not have agreements for the rest of the public servants, the 10% will be paid out to those others in the public sector. This is a great movement forward because it recognizes the role that our public servants play and treats them with respect." In addition to salary increases, Dr. Jagdeo outlined several other benefits available to public sector workers, including access to house lots, increased allowances, scholarships for professional advancement, and improved access to services through significant investments in infrastructure. GPL workers threaten strike action over 7% salary increase offer. News source Guyana. Workers at the Guyana Power and Light Company, GPL, are threatening strike action in response to a proposed 7% salary increase, which they deem unacceptable given that other sectors, including teachers, sugar workers, and public servants, have recently secured a 10% increase. Represented by the National Association of Agricultural, Commercial, and Industrial Employees, NACE, over 1,000 GPL workers expressed their dissatisfaction during a meeting with GPL management this morning, where they rejected the 7% offer. NACE General Secretary Dochan Nagasar described the offer as insulting, particularly in light of the agreements reached by other public sector workers. Initially, GPL indicated they were waiting for government pronouncements, which occurred on Tuesday. We attended the meeting expecting to negotiate for the 10% increase announced by the government, but that was not the outcome. The government has committed to a 10% increase for 2024 and an 8% for 2025, alongside other benefits, Nagasar stated. He further criticized GPL's position, noting that while some workers received a 3% increase earlier this year, this was not applied uniformly across the company. The 3% increase was not across the board, leaving many workers without it. We believe it is only fair that all workers receive the 10% increase, especially during this holiday season, he added. Nagasar emphasized that the government's commitment to funding the 10% increase should enable GPL to comply. We recently negotiated a 10% retroactive salary increase for sugar workers, and public servants are already benefiting from the same increase. It is difficult to understand why GPL's management would offer less, he remarked. With negotiations now stalled, NACE is seeking the intervention of President Dr. Irfan Ali or Vice President Dr. Jagdeo to resolve the matter. The union submitted its proposal to GPL 6 months ago, but discussions were paused as the company awaited the government's salary increase announcement. As the holiday season approaches, NACE hopes for a swift resolution to ensure fair compensation for all GPL workers. Cash grant distribution now moving to Regions 1, 8, and 4, Dr. Jagdeo. The cash grant distribution process is set to expand to Regions 1, 8, and 4 over the next few weeks, with each eligible Guyanese set to receive $100,000. This announcement was made by General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, PPP, Dr. Jagdeo, during his weekly press conference at Freedom House. The next region to receive the grants will be Region 1, followed by Region 8, and then Region 4. We are working diligently to cut all the necessary checks in the coming weeks. As we register individuals, we will distribute the funds, ensuring that everyone receives their grant, Dr. Jagdeo explained. He urged the public to remain patient as the government strives for an efficient and accurate distribution process. The ongoing nationwide registration is helping to establish a national database, which will facilitate smoother cash grant distributions in the future. Our goal is to register everyone within 5 months, he added. Residents of Region 9, Upper Takutu Upper Essequibo, have already begun receiving their grants, while registration continues in other regions. Earlier, Dr. Jagdeo indicated that the initial distribution is projected to benefit approximately 300,000 Guyanese by the end of 2024, with remaining recipients receiving their grants in January 2025 and beyond. He also assured that mechanisms will be established for individuals who missed registration, including those unable to visit registration centers. Opposition criticisms. Dr. Jagdeo addressed criticisms from opposition figures who have attempted to complicate the cash grant registration and distribution process. He noted that their claims range from insufficient grant amounts for public servants to concerns about potential economic inflation. They are identifying problems where none exist, he stated. The same individuals who previously discredited the voters list now want to halt the registration process, suspecting that they are trying to create confusion and highlight alleged corruption. Dr. Jagdeo dismissed claims that the registration process was a guise for data collection ahead of the 2025 elections, stating that such allegations have been ridiculed even by the opposition supporters. Despite the opposition's attempts to mislead the public, we will continue with the registration process to ensure every citizen receives their rightful funds. Once completed, this initiative will inject $60 billion into the hands of citizens across the country, he concluded. President Ali announces $2 billion additional support for farmers. In a significant boost to the agricultural sector, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has announced a new $2 billion support initiative aimed at assisting farmers across Guyana. This investment is designed to help absorb rising costs, enhance livelihoods, and expand agricultural production. During a recent engagement with farmers and residents in Ana Regina, Region 2, Pomarun Supinam, President Ali highlighted that this initiative will provide crucial subsidies for cash crop and rice farmers to offset the costs of fertilizers. This marks a 100% increase in the subsidy, doubling the previous allocation of $1 billion. This is a government that understands the importance of investing in communities, productivity, and the holistic development of our people, President Ali stated, reinforcing the administration's commitment to the agricultural sector. Last year, under the previous $1 billion program, approximately $900 million was utilized for fertilizer procurement for the rice industry, with the remaining $100 million designated for cash crop farmers. President Ali contrasted the current support with the policies of the previous administration, which imposed increased rental fees and provided little public support, resulting in detrimental impacts on the agricultural industry. The president noted that the current government has prioritized investments in research and development, essential for advancing farming practices. Since taking office, productivity in the rice sector has risen from approximately 5.5 tons to 6.1 tons per hectare. In addition to financial support, President Ali outlined initiatives aimed at improving drainage and irrigation structures, as well as farm-to-market roads, which are crucial for enhancing agricultural productivity. Financial resources have been allocated for approximately 12.5 kilometers of farm-to-market access roads, benefiting hundreds of farmers in the region. The creation of a new farm-to-market road has also opened up an additional 12,000 acres of agricultural land in Onderneming. Furthermore, plans for procuring mobile pumps to protect against flooding are underway, with tenders expected to be released soon, fulfilling commitments by the first quarter of 2025. President Ali, accompanied by government ministers and technical officers, is currently in the region to address community issues directly. This outreach aims to ensure that residents and farmers receive the support they need to thrive.